RTG Rail here to talk about the Netflix adaptation of One Piece, and I'm talking all the spoilers. Um, as you know, I have my thoughts. If you watched my previous review with Big Old Bell Media, you already know I dropped the heat. Got shout out to Netflix, giving us the episodes a little bit early. We're able to watch it and see the Straw Hat crew do their thing. Um, and I gotta say, I got some thoughts. Now that I can. Well, I had thoughts, but I kind of really point out a lot of the differences that I had about the show. So if you guys watch One Piece, you already know this pretty much goes up to the whole Arlong fight, and a lot of it is changed. So any expectations that you had, I think, of like a lot of fights. But let me start from the beginning. It's only 8 episodes, and they're all an hour long. They don't feel long to me. They move pretty quickly, but there's a lot of exposition, and a lot of I guess a lot of more explanation. Like it's TV, so I understand of things that you have to explain, things that they get to show a little bit more of a 360 view on things. So I definitely get. They, like I said, it covers East Blue, so it goes up to Arlong. But let's start at the beginning of it. Let's start at it comes in. We see Alvida, we see Luffy, getting in the little boat and getting in the barrel. We see Alvida, and right out the break, they got some blood and guts there. We see Alvida bash a guy in with her mace. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more. Alvida's not around very long. I mean, the manga, anime, or whatever, it's not long, but I was expecting a little bit more there. We get a little tussle with Luffy at the beginning. We first see him do his gum pistol. One of the not an issue, but one of the things I knew they were going to do, they're going to do like the nighttime scene because I was expecting this to be during the day. For whatever reason, they made the choice to change the night, mainly probably to really hide the the gum abilities. So you see it, but you can't really see it, which was kind of one of the things that I was saying. Like they try to use the nighttime to really hide a lot of the stuff, which I'm like, all right, it's cool. I wish we could have seen a little bit more of Alvida. We really don't get a lot of what's going on with Kobe because we're introduced to Kobe here, um, and so on and so on. So a lot of things just straight off the back are just changed as we get that. We come across Zoro, who we for so okay. So let me go back. So one of the things they changed is that in the manga and anime, Zoro is already there, tied up. Zoro's already tied up. In this, he's still out and about. He's still pirate hunting. He's bringing in some bounties. And in the process of this, he winds up getting caught up by the Marines. Doing what he does. And Axan Morgan's son, Helmeppo, he interacts with him, and then they do the whole thing where he has to sit on the post for a couple of days until that. In the original, he's there for days, whatever the situation was. He has an incident here in the bar where he's protecting a little girl, and eats the food off the floor, stuff like that. So it's certain things like that they changed that I'm like, I kind of wish that they kind of kept that the same where he's already there, but for whatever reason they made the choice to do that. I guess they wanted to show a little bit more of his. I wanted to show a little bit more of his power hunting stuff, which I'm like, okay, I'm cool with, but I just kind of wish the length of time that he was there is a little bit more. We don't get none of the mistreatment that X-Hand does to the Marines to really show how corrupt it was. It kind of went by. So I was one of the things I was just like, okay, why did they just not have time, or just what the situation was? But didn't really get a feel for why everybody was kind of whatever, because you've seen Accent, he was killing other Marines, he was slicing them down if they they got on line. You don't see any of that here. Kind of Kobe seeing a little bit more of the corruption with the Marines and stuff like that. And it just wasn't even a whole. I was expecting maybe a longer fight, more of a tussle, and you got none of that here. So like you said, Zoro gets out fairly quickly. Luffy beats Morgan. I was expecting a little bit more there. Um, Kobe still joins the Marines, completely different way. We get Garp, and they bring Garp in, which I thought was played amazingly. And shout out, before I even go back to Garp, show him at the beginning. They show Gold Roger. They show Gold Roger, and they show like the whole, the pinnacle scene where like, hey, go find my One Piece, yada yada yada. That was one of the scenes I was saying that they expanded more of, because you see more of the crowd. Everybody's just like directly running off to the sea. Um, I want to say Gold Roger got beheaded. And this one they kind of impale him through the chest, and he's still alive. Like after they stab him at the beginning of this, I'm like, okay, so is Gold Roger still alive? Or they just, how they do this? But anyway, I thought Gold Roger was cast perfect. He looked like a pirate. Everybody looked dirty. That's what you want to do. But going back to Garp, they show a lot more in this show. They show a lot more of Kobe. They show a lot more of Garp than you ever really see. When it comes to the anime or the manga, like everything that happens with them is kind of in the background. You even see it through like the little chapters in between the chapter, but you don't really get to see a lot of like Kobe's development. Like you see, he joins the Marines, but you don't really see what's going on. You kind of see him in pieces. This show definitely gives you a lot more of Kobe and a lot more Garp. And again, they got to fill in the time. Now that was one of the things here that I'm just like, all right, but it was just weird. Not weird, but it was just like, dude, I don't think we needed it. I kind of did need a lot, but it kind of goes into more bit more detail as to why Garp is kind of pressing down on Luffy as much as he was. And I really don't even remember him chasing him down, because in this one, they got Garp kind of like following him behind him, like just trying to stop him from becoming a pirate. So that was something. They show Shanks, because they get into the backstory of Luffy. They show Shanks. I don't know if he's wearing a wig or whatever. Don't think the red hair looks really good. I think they could have probably just dyed it a different color, or maybe a little darker or something like that. But I just, it's a little crazy, and it stands out. It looks like a Party City wig to me. Sorry. It's kind of jarring, kind of like really separates from everything that's going on. But I do think the actor that plays Shanks is pretty good. I thought the rest of the crew looked good. I thought he did a really good job of recreating the scene at Marquinhos' bar. I wish they would have did the closer shot when he kills one of the bandits. In this one, I think they have it a little bit further away. I wish they would have did a closer shot there. Other than that, I thought the scene was still pretty cool. We still get the scene with Luffy on the boat. A little bit different there too, because like I think Luffy's in the water, but they're like on a boat, and like the Sea King still winds up biting off Shanks' arm as he shields away, and we see our first introduction of Haki. Which, if you guys don't know what Haki is, keep watching. we see that that little seed planted as we go a little bit further. But yeah, like I said, Shanks is cool. The fight, the whole pirate fight and everything was cool. I think it's just it just looks a little bit funnier just seeing it in real life versus kind of animated, where they just go wild and crazy and you see people do this like incredible stuff. But here they try to, like I said, they keep it grounded, a little bit more grounded. So you're not really seeing people jump like 40 feet in the air, do certain things. You also don't see Zoro use 3-sword style a lot either. That was one of the things I wanted to bring up. A lot of this is 2-sword style Zoro, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, it's like he does every technique with 3 swords. But I thought I was expecting a little bit more. I mean, I think throughout the series, you see it maybe 3 times, maybe 2, if I'm counting right. But yeah, it wasn't that big a deal. But I just noticed like they didn't really use that as much as I would have liked them to see. But I think the sword fight and everything was really, really good. Captain Kuro, that one was another weird change that I'm not sure why they did that. They really don't go into much detail. Maybe I missed it. I don't know how I could have, but as to why Kuro is kind of trying to kill Kaya and doing XYZ. I mean, if you guys haven't read the manga, guy just wants to chill back. He's tired of being hunted like a pirate, so his whole plan was to kill off this girl, take her inheritance, and XYZ. I don't really feel like the plan was as laid out here in the TV show version as it is written in the manga and the anime. And I'm not trying. I can't not compare the anime and the manga because that's the blueprint. So, but I understand like having to change certain things for TV. So I'm not expecting to be perfect, but I'm not sure why they would take certain elements out that kind of fleshes out a little bit more and just kind of reduce it. But yeah, Kuro was cool. It still had him go, do his little tippy toe sideways flashing around. He's got the blades. Not sure why this was another nighttime fight. Why they chose to do this inside the house versus outside where it was. And some of the members of Kuro's crew are gone. And this one they have the two cat members of his crew are the help in the house. But in the manga and anime, they show them kind of come off a ship. Like none of them make contact with him up until you see them like come on shore. You never see them like at all in the house. And that's when they make the killing of Kaya really way more apparent. They try to kill her, and he almost gives it up like out of the bag. No pun intended. Like right off the break, which I thought was like, okay, why change that? They kill Mary, which I'm like, nah, he's not dead, right? Like they kill Mary. So if Mary does not die, in the manga, the anime, this is the whole ship they're going Mary, the ship that they're modeled after. Whatever reason they decided to kill him, they throw him in a well with Zoro, who they thought they took care of. I didn't think he was going to die. Maybe he'll pop back up. I mean, characters in One Piece typically don't die like that, but this one they seem like they're really killing people. So I thought that was like, man, they really killed him. But Kuro, I think he could have been fleshed out a little bit more. It's not like they didn't have time. I'm not even going to use that as an excuse. It's not like they didn't have time. They could have fleshed them out. They could have showed more of the crew. I wish this fight was outside with a little bit more daylight instead of like in the house. And this felt like all right. We see Luffy beat him. He does do the gum bell on him. Not quite the same way. Still headbutts him basically. And then we see Kuro just kind of like swim off. Because a lot of times you see people get knocked away and you never see them unless they're going to jail or something. So we see Kuro, we get Nami. Nami comes in pretty much the same way. Not too much there. We get Usopp, who's here. Usopp, I think has way more. I think they express more of his affection for Kaya here. And they also show the kiss, which you almost never see. But they show more of his affection, like why he's here. They show his dad. They really don't show any of his like sniper skills early on at all, which is wild to me because I feel like during the Baratie arc, was he there? Was he on the Baratie? I don't think he was, man. Okay, my memory is playing tricks on me. I'm like, was Usopp at the Baratie? But yeah, he had to be. Maybe it was. Okay, whatever. But we see, like I said, a lot of change there. They show Usopp's mom, of course, in this. And just Kaya just looking like, she's got cancer in this. She's looking really sickly. Pretty good job on the cast. Not too bad. I really liked the design of the house and everything too. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, I just didn't know why they just made some of the changes to this particular arc. I feel like everything. I was really looking forward to seeing Django, which I was like, all right, man, he's gonna look cool. How are they gonna do that? Didn't put him in at all. Like I said, just a lot of the crew. I was expecting everybody to kind of have like their one-on-ones. We see like Nami kind of interact more, try to explain like why she's just like this heartless thief a little bit more, which I feel like they did a really good job of doing that. So we go from that to Garp kind of again chasing down Luffy, them trying to find him. And another change, they had freaking Kobe run up on Luffy on Insert Village. Again, do not remember that. Again, I need to read this or watch this again, but I do not remember. They had no interaction whatsoever in Insert Village. Again, like you don't see Kobe or Garp again for a while. So as soon as I saw it, I just like what? When did that happen? But yeah, they make the change. They bring him in here, and Kobe lets him go to go fight Kuro, to go save his friends. Um, yeah, so that was the thing. Like I said, it was cool. I just wish this was another fight that was not in a dark mansion. But I'm not. Again, understand why, but can we not do that going forward? We go to because now we got to go pick up Sanji, who is on the Baratie, and another. We don't get Johnny and Zoro's other brothers. We don't get them at all. I was expecting to see that. But we see Mihawk. Mihawk comes in like a badass, and I was like, okay, they're gonna show Mihawk as he's chasing down Captain Krieg, Krieg, and they kill Krieg off like right here. So he doesn't even get to the Baratie, which I was just like, okay, so what are they gonna do? Because like that's a big part of the arc. We got Gen, who's there, who's there. And I was like, okay, maybe they'll come in later. So Gen comes in, he feeds them. They don't get into any of that. They don't get into like the whole, hey, you fed a guy, now his crew's trying to take over, the Luffy versus Krieg. None of it. We still get the Mihawk and Zoro fight, which is cool. But what was the choice there? Like, why'd you cut Krieg? Like, they put him. I'm sorry, Krieg was in the show, but they cut him out of this entire like arc, which was weird to me. I didn't understand the choice to me. I'm not mad about it. I really would have wanted to see it. It was one of the things that I was looking forward to. They just cut it. So really nothing to say there. I mean, like, so in replacement of that, they have Arlong come up to the Baratie and jack up everybody because he's looking for Luffy and Nami to get the map. So instead of Nami going to him, which was how it was originally, and them going back to save Nami and everything else, it was a wild choice. And then of course we get into them going chasing down to go get Nami. They go fight Arlong, and everybody else is there. The fishmen look really, really good. Don't get me wrong. I think the design of the fishmen look real good. Black Arlong here, no problem with. I thought that was perfect casting. I need to look that up to see who it was, but it's perfect casting. I have no problem with Black Arlong here. It just felt like it was perfect. But yeah, we get into the fight. We get into a little bit more to see what Luffy could do against Arlong. Again, more changes to just the elements of all of this. Yeah, I mean, it's the fights here are good. The fights that I've seen so far, I thought were really good. I thought they could have been better. And again, like I said, I love One Piece, but I can't give certain things a pass. It's just like, again, if we're gonna go silly, let's go silly. Let's go crazy with it. Let's go balls to the wall. Let's see what we can do. And I really feel like they held back, which was crazy. Like I'm watching, I'm like, I enjoyed it. I liked it. And it's something I would want to see a second season 2 for, and beyond to see where it goes. But I want to see them cut loose a little bit more. Don't play it as safe. I know you don't want to disappoint fans. I understand where you're coming from 100%. But I also think too, for me, my expectations might have been higher or different because of the content that I've already seen. That's why I said, if you've never seen One Piece, this might be like, oh, okay, this was pretty good. But if you have in your mind kind of the layout for what One Piece already is and what kind of goes on, I think you're gonna be like, you're gonna notice certain things like I did, like everything I just laid out. The Garp stuff, the Kobe stuff, the changes they did with Arlong, a lot of the changes. Oh man, how did I forget about Buggy? Buggy kind of comes in the same way. They show him like but they don't. They show Kabaji, few other people, but a lot of that is just different altogether. Like I didn't need Luffy in the cage and all of the other silly stuff, but I just wanted that to be a better fight. It was fine. I was expecting more. I mean, that whole whatever was just like, oh, okay, but yeah, it just could have been better. While I'm thinking about it, they definitely showed the devil fruit. They showed the gum fruit, and they showed what the inside of it looks like. They give it a lot more detail. And Luffy finishes the whole thing. I remember like maybe because they never show it. They show Luffy eats it, but like devours the entire thing. But yeah, I was happy to see like them they're going to show devil fruits, or probably that'd be the last devil fruit they show. Um, but that was pretty good. I like seeing young Luffy. I thought his actor was pretty great. He does a really good job of the role. Anaki, altogether as Luffy, I feel like he just gets the energy. I don't have any problem with him. I just got an issue with some of the story changes, which is weird, wild to me. But like I said, Naki does a really good job. Emily Rudd, she plays a good Nami. I don't know what I was expecting, like especially seeing like everybody around the world, and just to see everybody like different ethnicities, everybody different casts. Because everybody's like, oh, everybody's gonna be Japanese. Nah, man, just around the world, like, so it just makes sense. McKenna Zoro does a really good job. Everybody here, I feel like, really embodies their role. Only one I feel. Only one that comes off, maybe Usopp came off a little bit weird, maybe because like the character's a little bit taller, has a like older look to him, so some of like the weakling performance doesn't kind of come off as it should. It doesn't seem like he's a weak guy to me. But yeah, like I said, the fights were cool. I really like Zeph. I like Sanji. Everybody's casting here. Seeing Zeph and Sanji, like the whole scene at where they get washed away on top of the little cliff thing, that was pretty good. That was really well done. Shed a little tear there because I've seen that like 1,000 times, but it still got me. The stuff with Nami, I'm gonna let you watch it. I'm gonna leave that one on. I'll let you watch that one. Again, it's not a bad show. I don't want to make it seem like I'm bashing it. It's just certain, like I said, it's just certain points that I really wanted to see that didn't get hit on. We're at over 103 volumes, America-wise, 100 whatever, over 1,000 chapters, thousand episodes. Blueprints there, and again, I review stuff all the time. I understand like you're not gonna be able to adapt everything one for one, and I wasn't expecting that. The story elements of it was unnecessary to cut. I'm not necessarily need to see all the certain fights go a certain way or whatever, but certain things that were more connecting to the story, it was like, why cut that? But yeah, I go on and on. I love me some One Piece, but it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad. Let me say this: I'm looking forward to a second season. I want to see what more they can do. Don't hold back when it comes back to the set. As we get into the Grand Line, and we start to see Smoker, more Devil Fruit users, we start to see more of a lot of other characters, a lot of bigger ships. I want to see more. I want to see you go hard. But like I said, I enjoyed it. It was a quick 8 episodes. My fandom for the series definitely kept me, going through it. But I had to take my notes and really think about like, man, this is good, but it's nowhere near perfect. Netflix, I think you did a pretty good job, especially handling such a task as this. I wouldn't have done it, no. But Oda kind of being on the scenes makes me feel a bit more comfortable. But now that I've seen it, I'm like, why do you allow this change to go through? Why do you do this? So, it's weird. But other than that, like I said, I really enjoyed the fights. I like the music. The world, I want to see it a little bit more other than just like specific little spots. I want to see a little bit more of what the world looks like, which I don't really feel like they did here, but it's only early. It's still pretty early on. The casting's great, music's great, show's cool. I recommend it if you've never watched One Piece. This is going to hit for you. If you have knowledge of One Piece, you're probably going to be like, why do they do that? But other than that, I don't think you're gonna hate it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Sorry I had to spoil all that for you, but you watched this for a reason. I don't think there's anything I missed, or let me see. No. Like I said, Devil Fruit stuff is kind of dark. Buggy Kuro. They show Krieg. He dies. Gets killed by Mihawk, which he does not get killed by Mihawk. Luffy kind of beats him. A lot of that stuff I just wish it was more of. I wish there was more fight between Zeph and Sanji to leave. Don't feel that here at all. It was just like, I want you to go. Bye. All right. I'm like, okay. We feel like you get more of that, more fight on the ship. But hey, other than that, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about it below. All episodes coming August 31st. If you haven't watched this, you shouldn't be watching this at all. But let me know what you thought between. Give me your thoughts between the TV version, the Netflix TV version, and the difference between your manga anime. If you thought I did a pretty good job, let me know. Give me a comment, thumbs up, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'll see you next time for another review. See you.